Hi, I'm Dan Bradbury, Chief Product Officer at UpGuard. Thanks for joining our third product update for 2022. I'm excited to tell you about some great new features we're launching today, including a way to speed up the process of answering questionnaires by remembering previous responses, and the ability for you to invite your vendors to view their own security profile. I'll also cover some of the features we're working on right now, including detecting vulnerabilities that are being actively exploited and some industry-specific security questionnaires. I'll start with the features we're launching today. The first one is the Questionnaire Response Database. Over the last few years, the importance of assessing the security posture of your vendors has become widely acknowledged. This means you're probably not only conducting vendor risk assessments, but also being assessed yourself. And once you've answered a few different questionnaires, you realize they tend to cover the same topics, and you end up answering similar questions over and over again. The Questionnaire Response Database remembers every question you answer and lets you use these previous answers to complete new questionnaires. When you get sent a questionnaire through the UpGuard platform, responses are automatically suggested by drawing on these previous answers. And whenever you answer a question that's not in your database already, it gets added automatically. We expect this to be a huge time saver for anyone completing a questionnaire within UpGuard, whether that's you or one of your vendors. The second feature we're launching today is Vendor Invites, which lets you invite your vendors to view their full security profile. One of the key features of UpGuard is the integrated workflow to manage the remediation of vendor risks. This works by you choosing the specific risks you want remediated and sending a request to the vendor. The new Vendor Invites feature works slightly differently and gives you another way to help your vendors improve their security posture. Instead of choosing specific risks you want remediated, Vendor Invites lets you provide your vendors with full access to the UpGuard platform for a period of time. This lets them see every risk identified by UpGuard and gives them an opportunity to be more proactive in managing their security posture. The third feature we're launching today is Custom Vendor Attributes. It may sound obvious, but having a complete list of your vendors, including information about the relationship you have with them, is an essential part of managing your vendor risk. UpGuard gives you a few different ways to capture this relationship information. For instance, you can assign vendors to tiers, add labels, attach documents, and add notes. And last quarter, we released a vendor relationship questionnaire to help collect information from other people in your company. This quarter, we've added the ability for you to define custom vendor attributes that you want to track. You can define as many fields as you want. This might include things like contract, renewal date, or business owner. These custom attributes are prominently displayed within the platform and can be used to filter your vendor list. This makes it easy, for instance, to see all the vendors with a specific business owner or contract renewal date. And the final feature we're launching today is non-disclosure agreements, or NDAs, for shared profiles. Shared profiles are a great way for you to proactively provide security information about your organization. Rather than having to answer a security questionnaire every time you're assessed, you can share previously completed security questionnaires, as well as other documentation like pen test and SOC 2 reports. And anyone, even if they're not an UpGuard customer, can view this information. You can set your shared profile to be accessible by anyone or restricted, so it's only available once you approve an access request. But we understand that some of the information you share may be sensitive and may warrant an additional layer of protection. So today, we're adding the ability to require people to sign an NDA before accessing your shared profile. You get to use your own NDA document and can see a record of everyone who signs it. We hope this will provide further encouragement for you to share your security information via UpGuard. Now I'll move on to the features we're working on at the moment. The first one is Known Exploited Vulnerability, or KEV reporting. When UpGuard detects that a company is running a particular version of software, we provide information about any vulnerabilities associated with that software. Whether assessing a vendor or prioritizing your own remediation activities, it's useful to know not just which vulnerabilities are present, but also which ones attackers are actively exploiting. Using threat data published by the US government's CISA, this new feature will provide up-to-date information about these active exploits and help you focus on addressing the vulnerabilities that present the greatest risk. The next feature we're working on is the Questionnaire Changes view. If you're using vendor risk to send security questionnaires, you may know you can send the same questionnaire to a vendor multiple times, and that if you do, it gets pre-populated with their previous answers. This means your vendor can update the answers that have changed without having to complete the whole questionnaire again, which saves them time. When they submit this updated questionnaire, it's likely that you'll want to focus on the answers that have changed. And at the moment, it's not always easy to identify these. So the Questionnaire Changes view will let you compare any questionnaire to a previous version by providing a side-by-side comparison of the answers that are different. This will make it simple to see how a vendor's responses change over time. Another feature we're working on is an enhancement to the risk assessment workflow, which we've been gradually refining over the last year or so. In case you haven't seen it, the risk assessment workflow provides a step-by-step guide for assessing vendors. First, you choose the evidence you're going to base the assessment on. This can include sending a questionnaire if you need to. Then, you review the risks and work with the vendor to remediate any that you're not willing to accept. And finally, you capture any notes or write a more formal report and set a date for reassessing the vendor. Using this feature also provides an audit trail of your assessment activities, everything from when the assessment occurred to who conducted it, the evidence reviewed, and the outcome. This quarter, we're adding the ability to create risk waivers from within this risk assessment workflow. So when you're reviewing the risks, you'll be able to not only request remediation, but also create waivers for any risks you're willing to accept. This will include capturing a justification for waiving the risk and who approved it. If you haven't tried out the risk assessment workflow, please give it a go. And if you need any help getting started, let us know. The last feature I'll mention is the addition of a couple of new security questionnaires to our library. As industry-specific vendor assessment frameworks become more widespread, we understand the importance of providing questionnaires that support these. If you're in the higher education sector, you're probably familiar with the HECVAT vendor assessment framework. To support this, we're adding a HECVAT-based questionnaire to the platform. Likewise, if you're in the healthcare industry, you're probably familiar with HIPAA. We're also adding a HIPAA-based questionnaire to our library that will help you determine whether your vendors are HIPAA compliant. So that gives you a taste of a few of the features we're working on at the moment. You can talk to our customer success team to hear about our full product roadmap. Let me finish with a quick recap. Over the last quarter, we've added a bunch of great new features, and today I talked about 4 of these: the questionnaire response database, vendor invites, custom vendor attributes, and shared profile NDAs. And as always, we've got some exciting new features in the pipeline, including known exploited vulnerability reporting, questionnaire changes view, risk assessment workflow enhancements, and HECVAT and HIPAA questionnaires. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and please let us know if you have any questions.